What's up, you guys? This is Junior Trader, and in this video, we are taking a look at Mara stock, MSTR, that is the Microstrategy, Riot, Coinbase, and also Bitcoin. Bitcoin is showing a really different structure that you don't want to miss if you're interested in trading Bitcoin. So, with that, please hit the like and subscribe, and also please note none of this is any financial advice and is only for education purposes. All right. So let's start off with Mara Technologies or Marathon Digital Holdings. So with Mara, guys, the last video, one of those series of last couple of videos that I did was around this blue box as we were turning around and we got out of 200 days moving average. I told you that expect at least $19.80. We got that play, and then after that, we did hold a pullback as well at $17.78. That was a bullish sign. We did retest again $19.84, but that's where this was the double top formed. And unfortunately, as soon as guys whenever you see a pattern in the pullback, it's not able to push through to the new high, or not that high, but at least till this point, and we start to see a red candle, there's usually a double top forming, and this is where you have to start sizing out your position. And there are entry points, take profits in the extensions. If it doesn't go higher, then you should size out at the top or the pull in the extensions. And when the pullback turns bearish, because the first pullback zone came back lower but couldn't make higher high, and then it fell. So once we lost this neckline, $17.81, you can see we came down to our next significant level at $15.67. So from there, we are still trying to go up. So there is technically, you can argue there is this higher pivot still on the daily interval. And yes, as for intraday or shorter term trades, this has been going up. Now, if you want to see this continue higher, you don't want to see Mara break below $17.81. I'll show you a couple of things on hourly interval in just a second. And if it starts to come lower here again, a red candle, this time it may not hold this level, and because it will be a formation of lower high, and that's a problem. So if you want this pivot to hold, you want this to continue higher and this time break above $19.84. The thing is that also on the hourly interval, so you can see that was the double top formation and then the break of the neckline there. Now, one thing in benefit for you is that in the post market, it's been going up at this point. This is also the trend line on intraday it's holding. So as long as, even if it's above this trend line right now, it can be traded in the pullbacks to the upside. And so yeah, right now it is looking like it's gonna go up again, but keep an eye on again $19.85, and any pullback that comes, make sure that it doesn't lose this trend line, because if it loses that trend line, then again. So that's how with the structure you have to trade. Back here as well, you can see we were forming some trend lines. Once we lost these trend lines, we went lower, and you can see so parallel are these two trend lines here, right? All right, that's Mara. Let's take a look at MicroStrategy. So their earnings were not a beat, they were bad. We did receive a little bit of it's not a massive reaction, it's a little bit downward pressure. Now with MicroStrategy, the thing is that this upside that I'm seeing, it has gotten out of some pivots points here, especially like 1,165. So it is looking like it want to go up. Now what you have to see is that at this point, I would say watch the price action at 20 days moving average. It's a little bit of a waiting game, and see if it rejects there. And if it rejects, that could be a near-term short play, but then you are watching if it forms a pivot here, guys, again, which would be making an inverted head and shoulder. If it goes up, rejects, come down, but tries to go up and breaks this line of neckline, then it's an inverted head and shoulder, and this thing can continue higher then. And if it fails and couldn't hold $1,133 level or this zone, then it's most likely going to continue lower. Then you are seeing if it's going to form double bottom, or if it breaks that level as well, then we are going to the next level. According to this structure, you can take the position. As for right now, I think it has, let's go to the hourly interval. I think it still has some continuation room to the upside. You can see all these things are going up in the post market, and it's also above 200 hours moving average now. So there's a possibility that it can continue higher as long as it continues to hold the level of 1230 at this point. All right, let's take a look at Riot. So Riot, we called out this move as well, guys, that upside is coming, and we got all the way up to 200 days moving average. Now after that, this thing also started selling off. We got one pullback, but we couldn't really go above 200 days moving average, right? And we have been selling off. Now it's the same, very similar structure like Mara. There is a higher pivot on the daily interval. That's fine. What you want to see is that if it continues higher from here, it's on the daily interval still in an uptrend. But if this loses this time $10, let's say if it couldn't go above 50 days moving average and breaks below $10.07, unfortunately it's gonna come then lower. But yeah, you can also follow this trend line on the daily interval, like over here, this one. So yeah, as long as it holds this support from the pivot, that's fine. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, it's gonna come lower. Let's take a look at Coinbase. So Coinbase had its earnings. Again, I'm not going over these numbers because earnings have happened. Doesn't really matter that much. We have technicals in hand. Coinbase didn't really gap up or gap lower after earnings, even though earnings are green. So Coinbase is a very different thing here. It's consolidating. And it's in the region of a sort of supply zone, a little bit selling off right now. If we lose the level of 216, then you're watching the downside. If we get above now 228, it will go up. It's right at that pivotal point in the structure. Above or below this blue box is the play in that direction. It's very simple with Coinbase, not difficult. Bitcoin. Now this is an important one I want to talk about, and here many things can be argued. Let's get rid of this red line. Now, what are those many things that could be argued? So guys, from here on, we made a triple top, we went lower and started to form lower lows and lower highs, right? One thing now I'm seeing the strong green candle that is coming, right? This is also changing a bit of the structure. If Bitcoin would have rejected at $60,700, then sure, this was a downside play. It's still not fully out of the woods. We are still rejecting at 20 days moving average. But if as we continue higher, this is already turning a little bit of a bullish structure already. We are not fully out of the woods in the daily downward channel trend as well. You can see, this is where we have this sort of channel as well forming. Yeah, and so guys, this is, as you know, just it's not going to be penny to penny perfect. I'm showing you as precise as I can, but you can see this is where these pivots, and then here are we having these pivots in the channel. And so far, if we get out of it, or even let's say if we, the thing is that guys, this candle is very strong. Even if we reject at this 20 days moving average, and we start to sell off, there's a huge potential that 60,000 level will hold. This is what happens after demand candles. You can see over here as well, this strong demand candle came, we pulled back and shot up, right? So and that also happened at 20 days moving average rejection. So even if this happens at 20 days moving average rejection, just because the strength of this candle is so strong, pullback if it comes, most likely I think this has a room to continue higher, at least for a couple of days. I don't think it's going to just slam back down. If it does, it does, but probability is a little bit higher for Bitcoin going back up. So we'll see. All right, guys, this is my just educational opinion, nothing more than that. None of this is any financial advice. And if you found this video helpful, valuable, please hit the like and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next videos, guys. Take care. Bye.